In this video, we're going to take a look at reviewing the order of operations. The order of operations can be remembered by the phrase PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Just as a reminder, the P stands for parentheses, the E stands for exponents, MD stands for multiplication and division from left to right, which means if division comes first, you do division before you do multiplication. Multiplication, division go hand in hand. And similarly, the addition and the subtraction will also go hand in hand. They will also be from left to right. Okay. As a reminder, the parentheses can also include absolute value signs as a way of grouping symbols. It could include a fraction where the top and the bottom, even though it's not written, you have to simplify the top, the numerator, and then you have to simplify the denominator, as well as the square roots. There's unwritten parentheses underneath the square root, so you have to simplify what comes underneath the square root first. The exponents, okay, remember 3 squared actually means 3 times 3, which would be 9. The 3 appears 2 times and being multiplied together. If I have the opposite of 3 squared, this is like saying the opposite of 3 times 3, which would be negative 9. But if I have in parentheses negative 3 being squared, it means that I have negative 3 as a base being multiplied by negative 3, which would equal positive 9. Just a couple little helpful hints. So now let's look at some examples. So if I take this, 1 plus 5 times the quantity 3 plus 4 being squared, I might write the P, E, the PEMDAS down the side, MDAS, just as a reminder of what I need to do. So my first thing I need to do is parentheses. What that means is I need to simplify what is in parentheses. This will be tempting, but you notice I don't touch the addition here. That will come at this very last step because of the addition sign. So I copy exactly what I have, 1 plus 5, parentheses, being squared. The 3 plus the 4 gives me 7, so I'll substitute in 7. My next step will be to the exponent. Well, in this case, this exponent only applies to the 7. It does not apply to the 5. So I'm going to just concentrate on the 7 squared, which gives me 49. I have the 1 plus the 5, parentheses, okay, 49. What this parentheses basically is another way of saying is multiplication. So in my next step, when I look at multiplication, division, I'm going to do the 5 times 49, which if you have a calculator handy, this would be an appropriate time to use it. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay. As you can see, I'm a little bit out of practice from the summer, as you may be. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24, so that's going to be 245. I'm left with 1 plus 245, so my correct answer would be 246. And I want to circle or box my answer. So you'll notice what's going to be key is following this progression right here and being very attentive to doing parentheses first, followed by exponents, followed by multiplication, division, followed by addition and subtraction. Another example here. Okay, first of all, I'll write my initials up here, just as a reminder of what I need to do. I need to do parentheses first. There's actually really 3 sets of parentheses, 2 of which are not written. Remember, if I deal with the division bar here, this is saying divided. It's really saying this whole thing here in the numerator being divided by this in the denominator. So if I go through kind of methodically, I have to hold off on the 3 minus 4. 6 minus 3 would be 3 being squared over 2 to the 4th power. Okay, I can say that's going to be equal to 3 minus 4. If I do exponents next, I get 3 times 3 raised to the 2nd power, which is 9, over 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Okay, I have 3 minus 4 times 9, so 4 times 9 is 36, over 16. 3 minus 36 is negative 33 sixteenths, and that cannot be simplified. Now you'll notice most times in algebra we will leave this as an improper fraction. If I wanted to change it to a mixed number, I would say it's negative 2 and 1/16. But in most situations, the improper fraction will be the preferred answer. Okay? In certain situations, you'll be given an algebraic expression, such as the one I've listed down here, x squared plus xy minus y squared. This is an algebraic expression. But instead of being asked to do anything with this directly, you're actually given values for the variables. So in the directions, it'll say, let x equal something, y equals something. It'll give you numeric values for the variables. So your first step is to substitute the given value for the variable. Okay, so if x equals negative 4, instead of the place of x, I'm going to put negative 4. You always want to kind of assume that that value is in parentheses, then being squared, plus x, which is negative 4, times y. Remember there's an unwritten multiplication, so times 3, minus, and then kind of in parentheses, y equals 3, so it would be 3 squared. So if I go ahead and then you're going to simplify given the order of operations. So parentheses, there's nothing that needs to be calculated within parentheses. Exponents negative 4 being squared is 16, plus negative 4 times 3 minus 3 squared, which is 9. It becomes 16 plus negative 4 times 3, which is negative 12, minus 9. 16 plus negative 12 is 4. 4 minus 9 gives you an answer of 5. So really, it's asking you to do the same thing as we were doing before. It just adds that one little extra step of giving you these values and substituting them in. Okay, good luck with the order of operations. Hope this was helpful.